Day 36, Egypt and Exodus, Exodus 15 through 16, Leviticus 11, Psalm 70. Let's begin. Exodus 15:16. Then Moses and the sons of Israel sang this song to the Lord, and they said, "Let us sing to the Lord, for he has been gloriously magnified. The horse and the rider he has cast into the sea. The Lord is my strength and my praise, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I shall glorify him. He is the God of my father, and I shall exalt him. The Lord is like a fighting man. Almighty is his name. The chariots of Pharaoh, and his army, he has cast into the sea. His elect leaders have been submerged in the Red Sea. The abyss has covered them. They descended into the depths like a stone. Your right hand, O Lord, has been magnified in strength. Your right hand, O Lord, has struck down the enemy. And in the multitude of your glory you have put down your adversaries. You send out your wrath, which devoured them like stubble. And by the breath of your fury, the waters were gathered together. The flowing waves stood still. The abyss was gathered into the midst of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue and overtake them. I will divide the spoils. My soul will be filled. I will unsheathe my sword. My hand will put them to death. Your breath blew, and the sea covered them. They were submerged like lead into the mighty waters. Who is like you in strength, O Lord? Who is like you, magnificent in sanctity, terrible and yet praiseworthy, accomplishing miracles? You extended your hand, and the earth devoured them. In your mercy, you have been a leader to the people whom you have redeemed. And in your strength, you have carried them to your holy dwelling place. Peoples rose up and became angry. Sorrows took hold of the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the leaders of Edom were stirred up, and trembling took hold of the robust of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan were petrified. Let fear and dread fall upon them, by the magnitude of your arm. Let them become immobilized like stone, until your people cross through, O Lord, until this, your people whom you possess, cross through. You shall lead them in and plant them, on the mountain of your inheritance, in your most firm dwelling place, which you have formed, O Lord, your sanctuary, O Lord, which your hands have made firm. The Lord will reign in eternity and beyond. For the rider Pharaoh, with his chariots and horsemen, was brought into the sea. And the Lord brought back upon them the waters of the sea. But the sons of Israel walked across dry ground in its midst. And so Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took up a timbrel in her hand. And all the women followed her with timbrels and dancing. And she prophesied, saying, Let us sing to the Lord, for he has been gloriously magnified. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Then Moses took Israel from the Red Sea, and they went forth into the desert of Shur. And they wandered for 3 days through the wilderness, and they found no water. And they arrived at Marah. They were unable to drink the waters of Marah because they were bitter. Therefore, he also established a name befitting the place, calling it Marah, that is, bitterness. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? So he cried out to the Lord, who showed him a tree. And when he had cast it into the waters, they were turned into sweetness. In that place, he established instructions for him, and also judgments. And he tested him there, saying, If you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, and obey his commands, and keep all his precepts, I will not bring upon you any of the distress that I imposed on Egypt. For I am the Lord, your healer. Then the sons of Israel arrived in Elim, where there were 12 fountains of water and 70 palm trees. And they camped next to the waters. And they set out from Elim. And the entire multitude of the sons of Israel arrived at the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month, after they departed from the land of Egypt. And the entire congregation of the sons of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the sons of Israel said to them, If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat around bowls of meat and ate bread until filled. Why have you led us away into this desert, so that you might kill the entire multitude with famine? Then the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. Let the people go out and collect what is sufficient for each day, so that I may test them, as to whether or not they will walk in my law. But on the 6th day, let them prepare what they use for carrying, and let there be double what they were accustomed to collect on a single day. And Moses and Aaron said to the sons of Israel, In the evening you will know that the Lord has led you away from the land of Egypt. And in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord. For he has heard your murmuring against the Lord. But as for us, truly what are we, that you would whisper against us? And Moses said, In the evening the Lord will give you flesh to eat, and in the morning bread in fullness. For he has heard your murmurings that you have murmured against him. For what are we? Your murmuring is not against us, but against the Lord. Moses also said to Aaron, Say to the whole congregation of the sons of Israel, Approach before the Lord. For he has heard your murmuring. And when Aaron spoke to the entire assembly of the sons of Israel, they looked out toward the wilderness. And behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in a cloud. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, I have heard the murmuring of the sons of Israel. Say to them, In the evening you will eat flesh, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God. Therefore, it happened in the evening, quails rising up covered the camp. Likewise, in the morning, a dew lay all around the camp. And when it had covered the face of the earth, it appeared, in the wilderness, small and as if crushed with a pestle, similar to hoarfrost on the ground. When the sons of Israel had seen it, they said one to another, Manhu, which means what is this? For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, This is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat. This is the word that the Lord has instructed. Let each one collect as much of it as is sufficient to eat. 1 omer for each head. According to the number of your souls which live in a tent, so will you take of it. And the sons of Israel did so. And they collected, some more, others less. And they measured by the measure of an omer. He who collected more did not have too much, nor did he who prepared less find too little. But each one gathered according to what they were able to eat. And Moses said to them, Let no one leave any of it behind until morning. And they did not listen to him, but they left some of it behind until morning, and it began to swarm with worms, and it putrefied. And Moses became angry against them. Then each one collected, in the morning, as much as would be sufficient to eat. And after the sun became hot, it melted. But on the 6th day, they collected a double portion, that is, 2 omers for each man. Then all the leaders among the multitude came, and they discoursed with Moses. And he said to them, This is what the Lord has spoken, Tomorrow, the rest day of the Sabbath, has been sanctified to the Lord. Whatever would be done, do it now. And whatever would be cooked, cook it now. Then anything that will have been left over, store it until morning. And they did just as Moses had instructed, and it did not putrefy, nor were there any worms found in it. And Moses said, Eat it today, because it is the Sabbath of the Lord. Today it will not be found in the field. Gather for 6 days. But on the 7th day, it is the Sabbath of the Lord, for which reason it will not be found. And the 7th day arrived. And some of the people, going out to collect it, did not find it. Then the Lord said to Moses, How long will you be unwilling to keep my commandments and my law? See how the Lord has given you the Sabbath, and because of this, on the 6th day he distributes to you a double portion. Let each one remain with his own, and let no one go forth from his place on the 7th day. And the people kept the Sabbath on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called its name manna. It was like white coriander seed, and its taste was like wheat flour with honey. Then Moses said, This is the word that the Lord has instructed, Fill an omer of it, and let it be kept for future generations hereafter, so that they may know the bread, with which I nourished you in the wilderness, when you had been led away from the land of Egypt. And Moses said to Aaron, Take 1 vessel, and put manna into it, as much as an omer is able to hold. And store it in the sight of the Lord, to keep for your generations. Just as the Lord instructed Moses. And so, Aaron placed it in the tabernacle, in reserve. Now the sons of Israel ate manna for 40 years, until they arrived in a habitable land. With this food they were nourished, even until they touched the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is a 10th part of an ephah. Leviticus 11. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Say to the sons of Israel, These are the animals that you ought to eat out of all the living things of the earth. All that has a divided hoof, and that chews over again, among the cattle, you shall eat. But whatever certainly chews over again, but has a hoof that is not divided, such as the camel and others, these you shall not eat, and you shall consider them to be among what is unclean. The rock rabbit which chews over again, and whose hoof is not divided, is unclean. And so also is the hare, for it too chews over again, yet its hoof is not divided. And also the swine, which, though its hoof is divided, does not chew over again. The flesh of these you shall not eat, nor shall you touch their carcasses, because they are unclean to you. These are the things that breed in the waters, and which it is lawful to eat. All that has little fins and scales, as much in the sea, as in the rivers and ponds, you shall eat. But whatever does not have fins and scales, of those things that live and move in the waters, shall be abominable to you. And detestable, their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall avoid. All that does not have fins and scales in the waters shall be polluted. These are those things among the birds which you must not eat, and which are to be avoided by you, the eagle, and the griffin, and the osprey, and the kite, as well as the vulture, according to their kind, and all that is of the raven kind, according to their likeness, the ostrich, and the owl, and the gull, and the hawk, according to its kind, the owl, and the sea bird, and the ibis, and the swan, and the pelican, and the marsh hen, the heron, and the plover according to its kind, the crested hoopoe, and also the bat. Of all that flies, whatever steps upon 4 feet shall be abominable to you. But whatever certainly walks upon 4 feet, and also has longer legs behind, with which it hops upon the earth, you shall eat, such as the beetle in its kind, and the cricket, and grasshopper, and the locust, each one according to its kind. But among flying things, whatever has only 4 feet shall be detestable to you. And whoever will have touched their carcasses shall be defiled, and he shall be unclean until evening. And if it will be necessary to carry any of these dead things, he shall wash his clothes, and he shall be unclean until the sun sets. Every animal that certainly has a hoof, but which is not divided, nor does it chew over again, shall be unclean. And whoever will have touched it shall be contaminated. Whatever walks upon its hands, out of all the animals that advance on all 4s, shall be unclean. Whoever will have touched their carcasses shall be polluted until evening. And whoever will have carried this kind of carcass shall wash his clothes, and he shall be unclean until evening. For all these are unclean to you. Likewise, these shall be considered among the polluted things, out of all that moves upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the crocodile, each one according to its kind, the shrew, and the chameleon, and the gecko, and the lizard, and the mole. All these are unclean. Whoever will have touched their carcasses shall be unclean until evening. And anything upon which something from their carcasses will have fallen shall be defiled, whether it is a vessel of wood, or a garment, or skins, or haircloths, or anything by which work is done. These shall be dipped in water, and shall be defiled until evening, but then afterwards these shall be clean. But an earthen vessel, into which something from these will fall, shall be defiled, and therefore it is to be broken. Any of the foods that you eat, if water from such a vessel will have been poured upon it, it shall be unclean. And every liquid which one may drink from such a vessel shall be unclean. And if anything from among these kinds of dead things has fallen upon it, it shall be unclean, whether it be an oven, or a pot with feet, these shall be unclean and shall be destroyed. Yet truly, fountains and cisterns, and all reservoirs of water shall be clean. Whoever will have touched their carcasses shall be defiled. If it falls upon seed grain, it shall not defile it. But if anyone has poured water upon the seed grain, and afterwards it was touched by the carcasses, it shall be immediately defiled. If any animals will have died, from which it is lawful for you to eat, whoever will have touched its carcass shall be unclean until evening. And whoever will have eaten or carried anything of these shall wash his clothes, and he shall be unclean until evening. All that creeps across the earth shall be abominable, either shall it taken up as food. Whatever advances by 4 feet upon the chest, or that has many feet, or that drags across the soil, you shall not eat, because it is abominable. Do not be willing to contaminate your souls, nor shall you touch any of these, lest you become unclean. For I am the Lord your God. Be holy, for I am holy. Do not pollute your souls with any creeping thing, which moves across the land. For I am the Lord, who led you away from the land of Egypt, so that I would be your God. You shall be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of animals and flying things, and of every living soul that moves in the waters or creeps upon the land. So that you may know the difference between clean and unclean, and so that you may know what you ought to eat, and what you ought to refuse. Psalm 70. A Psalm of David. Of the sons of Jonadab, and the former captives. In you, O Lord, I have hoped, do not let me be brought to ruin forever. Free me by your justice, and rescue me. Incline your ear to me, and save me. Be a God of protection and a place of strength for me, so that you may accomplish my salvation. For you are my firmament, and my refuge. Rescue me, O my God, from the hand of the sinner, and from the hand of the unjust, and those who act against the law. For you, O Lord, are my patience, my hope from my youth, O Lord. In you, I have been confirmed from conception. From my mother's womb, you are my protector. In you, I will sing forever. I have become to many as if I were a portent, but you are a strong helper. Let my mouth be filled with praise, so that I may sing your glory, your greatness all day long. Do not cast me off in the time of old age. Do not abandon me when my strength will fail. For my enemies have spoken against me, and those who watched for my soul have taken counsel as one, saying, God has abandoned him. Pursue and overtake him, for there is no one to rescue him. O God, do not be far from me. O my God, provide for my assistance. May they be confounded, and may they fail, who drag down my soul. Let them be covered with confusion and shame, who seek evils for me. But I will always have hope, and I will add more to all your praise. My mouth will announce your justice, your salvation all day long. For I have not known letters. I will enter into the powers of the Lord. I will be mindful of your justice alone, O Lord. You have taught me from my youth, O God. And so I will declare your wonders continuously, even in old age and with gray hairs. Do not abandon me, O God, while I announce your arm to every future generation, your power and your justice, O God, even to the highest great things that you have done. O God, who is like you? How great is the tribulation that you have revealed to me, very great and evil. And so, turning back, you have brought me to life, and you have led me back again from the abyss of the earth. You have multiplied your magnificence. And so, turning back to me, you have consoled me. Therefore, I will confess your truths to you, with the instruments of the psalter. O God, I will sing psalms to you with stringed instruments, O Holy One of Israel. My lips will exult, when I sing to you, and also my soul, which you have redeemed. And even my tongue will meditate on your justice all day long, when those who seek evils for me have been confounded and set in awe.